Howdy all, Moglax Lives. I think it's time we play a little 7 Days to Die. So I'm out here in the passing gas, which apparently is the clear mission, which is cool because there's, boxes in here. It's pretty easy so far. I'm not used to it being so simple. I've only killed 3... Dude, you gotta get into a position I can punch. 4 zombies now. I expected there to be a lot more, but so far, pretty simple. I haven't even had to pull out my gun yet. So, this week we actually managed to play some Starfinder. I know it's been a long time since we managed to do any of that stuff, so I was happy to get back into some D&D. Although, I actually didn't think anybody was. Let me start that sentence over. I didn't think that everybody was going to be there, and so I didn't spend any time doing my normal Wednesday prep for anything. But I did spend a bunch of time getting the not everyone's going to be here D&D prepped, and so I was surprised because the other DM said he wasn't going to be here this week. And then Tuesday night... Oh, nice. I can upgrade to a hunting knife. And then he posted a message in our Discord that said, my Steam Deck just got here. And I said, oh, awesome. And I thought, wait a minute. You shouldn't be at home. How is your Steam Deck here? When you're not supposed to be here. And so I sent him a message, and I'm like, hey man, I thought you weren't going to be home today. I haven't prepped anything. And he says, yeah, I just decided to come back a day early. Don't worry. Because we do comic books from DC every week. And he says, oh, don't worry. There's plenty of time to get the comics read before tonight. You know what, though? I'm finishing up work. I've got other things. I've got to eat dinner yet. Letting me know at 5:30 at night that you're expecting to do regular Wednesday night stuff in less than 3 hours is ridiculous. Like, what do you mean you decided? Why didn't you say something to someone? Because he only said that he wasn't going to be here for Wednesday night, but then Tuesday night he also didn't show up for that. And that's when one of the other guys was like, yeah, he said he wasn't going to be here because he's in a different part of the state at the moment. And I'm like, oh, well, he never said anything to me or in the group chat or anything like that. So I didn't know. And where is the remaining zombies? Oh. That's not even a weapon. And so yeah, so then, you know, scrambling. I had to skip out on recording because I didn't have time for that. And we ended up having to do our comic book stuff way later because then uh, when I did get to the point where we could talk about comics, it was like 8:30. We're supposed to start D&D at 9, and then he's just telling me all his plans for his Steam Deck because I find it a tad annoying, uh, honestly. Uh, every time, every time something like this occurs, uh, this being something like the Steam Deck, and I'm just like, oh man, this thing is awesome. I'm gonna get one, and he's like, I'm gonna get one, and then he gets one, and so this was like, um, I think that I think it was the PS Vita. No, the man, what would I have gotten that was expensive? That was a handheld electronic. I don't know. But basically, every time something like this happens, um, he then proceeds to tell everyone that they're doing it wrong and that you really should look into modding the device. And it drives me crazy because I'm just like, I just want to play my games on it. I bought it to play games, and then he's like, "No, man, what you gotta do is look. I'll send you these video links. You can open it up, and it's really easy to get a bigger drive for it. And then you take the bigger drive and you put that in there, and then you wipe all of the operating systems, and then you put this. Oh, it's phones. Phones is the thing that he normally annoys me with about this. That's the expensive handheld thing, right? Um, and so he spends a half hour telling me how he's gonna tear apart and hack his Steam Deck now that he has it, and I'm like, I just want to play games. I don't want to hack my Steam Deck. And uh, so I do want to tell real quick the phone thing. We used to do our comic book stuff over the phone, and so he doesn't really like to do it over the computer. But now that we do like D&D, where he has to be at the computer for us to play, it's less of a hassle. But he really, really likes to do stuff where we talk from his bed so that he doesn't have to sit up, I guess. I don't know. And so he preferred to talk over the phone. And so he talks over his cell phone. And so he gets these really like high end cell phones. And then he'll be like, "Yeah, how do I sound?" And then I'll be like, "You sound great. It seems like it's working great." And then he will wipe the phone and load some hacked version of the phone's operating system because it lets you do things that you can't do with the phone's regular operating system. Not that he does any of them, he just wants the ability to do them. And so, uh,
Hey, jerk, you need some work. Well, good
you know what? I don't like you, man. Why are you calling me a jerk? What have I ever done to you other than complete your jobs quick and correctly? This one's going to be a little less quick, though, because I'm going back to my base before it gets nighttime here. So, So yeah, and then it always sounds like crap after that. And he's like, well, I don't know why it sounds bad to you. No one else complains about it. And this is supposed to be really good hacked ROM for the phone. I'm like, great. It sounded perfect before, and now it doesn't. So I don't know what to tell you, man. Uh, but yeah. So, anyways, he shows up. I quickly plow my way through the comics, and then instead of talking about the comics, he proceeds to tell me about how he's hacking his Steam Deck. And then everybody was on. Like, I was shocked. Everybody was ready to go pretty much by 9:15, and and so we got going. And the trick being, we haven't played in so long that I don't really remember how the game works practically, because it's a different game system than we're used to, and it's got a lot of different rules. It plays in a similar manner, but the you know fiddly bits are different, and so there's a lot more number crunching involved in Starfinder than there is in 5th edition D&D. I really think I prefer 5th edition. I just wanted to try out Starfinder. We might not play any after this book is done. I don't know. It's really complicated compared to D&D. I like the sci-fi aspect of it, but I can homebrew a sci-fi. I could probably just do a Starfinder adventure and convert it myself into 5th edition pretty easy at this point. I feel like I could handle that. And but yeah, so sometimes we have to figure out what the rules for a certain thing are because we don't know what the rules are. There's just so many of them and they're different. Um, because D&D to me is a bit simpler. D&D 5th edition. Now, don't get me wrong. This is Starfinder is based off of. I don't know why I was going in there to put this coffee away. Starfinder is based off of 3rd edition D&D, and so it is a D&D adjacent, right, gaming system. That doesn't go in there. Um, so it's not completely devoid of similarities. But we don't play 3rd edition D&D. We play 5th edition D&D, and 5th edition streamlined the game down so it's easier to run. And so what it really, to me, does well is that you have the same kind of stats, but they removed all the fiddly bits, basically. And so, like, if you want to hack a computer, right, in D&D, there isn't a hacking skill or anything like that, and so you might just do an intelligence check. And so if you do an intelligence check, you just roll a d20 and add their intelligence modifier, and then decide if they meet the requirement. Well, in Starfinder, there's a lot more numbers to figure out and add together, like defenses on the system and things like that, and your abilities, and did you get help, and how far away is it, and what's the level of the computer, and all this other stuff. And so it's more complicated. And so we had a little incident last night where the other DM decided that he was going to argue with me over how the game worked, and it got heated. I mean, not yelling, but I did tell him to stop jumping down my throat at one point, and then he was like, "I'm not jumping down your throat," and so you were jumping down mine. So this is what happened. He decided to throw a grenade. What do I gotta do for this hunting knife? Now I could remember that there were special rules. Oh, that's hunting rifle. Yeah. I need forged iron, leather, and duct tape. Uh, Ooh, I don't have duct tape. That's okay. I can make some. I think that's iron. Forged and leather. And so he rolls. He hmm, he tells me he's throwing the grenade. Not glue. I'm making duct tape, and that's fine. He's got a grenade. He can throw his grenade. I don't have a problem with that. He picked where the grenade was going to land. I don't have a problem with that. And then they were trying to figure out. We were trying to figure out how grenades work. And so it says that a grenade hits in a 15-foot sphere. So immediately they tried to apply a 15-foot radius. And I'm like, I don't think that's the way this works. I'm pretty sure this is a 15-foot sphere, meaning that's the diameter, not the radius, because a 15, that's 30 feet explosion from a level 1 grenade. I don't think so. That's too much. And so we shrank it down, and he could still hit the guys he wanted to hit. And so the grenade has like a throw range of 20, so you can pick anywhere within 20 feet of yourself. And so then he's like, all right, so everybody in this sphere has to roll a check. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure there's like some attack rolls for this. And he's like, no, it's just reflex save. It's called in Starfinder. Um, and so uh, I have the bad guys roll the reflex saves, and then the next guy's like, I want to throw a grenade, and I'm like, well, give me a second to look up these grenade rules because I know there's some rules on attacking with a grenade, and so I go to the book. Now we all have access to the book. Any of us could look in the book. But the other DM does not look in the book. The other DM likes to go out to these websites. And so I'm flipping through the book looking for a section on grenades. And this is the problem I have with the Starfinder book is that everything's split into little bits. And so it's really hard to find what you're looking for. And so, like, the information on grenades is split over 3 different pages that aren't anywhere near each other. And so it's like page 187, page 240, and page 248, right? And so those 3 pages have the information you need on how to attack with a grenade. You'd think they would just be with the grenades, but no, because there are other pages that contain the information um, on the grenade damage and all that stuff. The grenade stats, I guess, is the thing. And so, I wonder if I got enough new stuff to make some more. Ooh, I don't have a lot of raw meat. So we can't throw in some more farming stuff. Since I did manage to get some more seeds since the last time I worked on this. But probably the next thing has got to be probably the aloe, right? Aloe should be the next plant. That way maybe I can start making some decent bandages. I'll have to learn the recipe for it, but and so he says, look, it says right here on this website uh, that it's Dex. And I'm like, I don't think it's Dex to attack with a grenade. He's like, no, it says right here on this website, Dex. And I'm like, oh, give me a second to find it in the book. And so I find the pages in the book, and to attack, which is what I was trying to figure out, which is what I said I was trying to figure out, to attack is a strength throw. You roll a dice, you add your strength modifier, and I think you add your. They've got a basic attack bonus or something like that. It's called. Um, and so you add those together, and what is a robotic headlamp mod? I just want to add a light. This is what I want right here. Uh, Art of Mining 7. Or the helmet light mod schematic. I don't have one, right? There are no light mods in here. Man, I really, really want to get a light. I think this will go on my hunting knife. So um, oh cool, I can put that hunter thing on here. What about this guy? Yeah, I thought I could probably fit that knife thing on there. And then my gear, my broke down armor. Okay, I need some iron, it looks like. So, I'm like, yeah, but you keep saying dex, but the book here says it's strength to attack with it. It's an attack roll where you add your strength mod. And he goes, this website says it's dex. And I'm like, I'm looking at the rule book though, and the rule book says strength. He's like, I'm telling you, man, the website says it's dex. I'm like, is it the official website? He's like, well, no. I'm like, well, I'm looking at the official rule book. Why do you keep telling me it's dex? It's you roll your attack roll and you add strength to it, and then you got to beat the 5 AC it says to hit the square you're trying to hit. And he's like, I'm telling you, man, it's dex. It's not strength. And I'm like, I'm telling you, I'm looking at the rule book. I don't care what some other website that's not an official website says when the rule book that's in front of me says strength. And he goes, fine, I'll find it in the rule book. I'm like, I'm looking at the rule book. So he goes and he finds the other page in the rule book that tells you how to save against a grenade attack, which is a reflex saving throw, which is all right. So I do 10 of these, right? So um, uh, 10. I've got two. They're 5 apiece. I still can't make 10. But look at that. I got 3 potatoes now. 4 potatoes extra. What does it take to make can I even make that? Steak and potato? Oh, that takes no. What do I make? I make a stew, right? Hobo stew? No, gumbo. Is it hobo stew? It's hobo stew, isn't it? Hobo stew is my thing, and that takes master chef. Okay, I think I've got some points to spend here, but I don't think that's going to get me up to master chef. So yes, it turns out that he wasn't listening to what anybody else was saying because I wasn't the only one saying. Um, he wasn't listening to anybody, and he was looking for the saving throw against a grenade, and I was looking, as I had said repeatedly, the attack roll, what you have to roll to throw your grenade, because we're using Forge, and Forge has got like a digital character sheet, and so when you click on your grenade to throw it, it pops up in the chat and it shows an attack roll, a saving throw, and the damage. And so I wanted, as the DM, I wanted to see what the rules were for grenades because I knew there were some rules about throwing them because I've played the starter kit, and the starter kit had grenades in it, but the starter kit has very basic, tiny sets of rules. I do not see cooking. There it is. Uh, Steak and potatoes, meat stew, vegetable stew, blueberry pie. Short order cook is okay. So I just need to get to 3. So this has got to go up. Oh, that needs 5 now. Okay, but now I can make see, meat stew. Oh, maybe it's meat stew I make because that's meat, potato, corn, fat, boiled water. Yeah. And then hobo stew is later because hobo stew takes something else and it's more powerful. Meat stew is my thing. All right, so we need fat, meat. I'm gonna have to make mushrooms, I guess. I don't think I got enough potatoes. I'm pretty sure it takes 5 potatoes. Oop, that's something. Oh no, it's 2 potatoes. Cool. Make me 2 meat stews. Awesome. So yes, there was a bit of an argument. Uh, and then I read for him word for word out of the book what it said, and then he's like, "But I'm talking about saving throws." And I'm like, "At no point in this conversation have we been talking about saving throws. Why are you talking about saving throws?" "Well, that's what I've been talking about the whole time." Okay, so when I said I wanted to look in the book to see how to attack with grenades, you decided I was looking for saving throws. I kept saying that I was looking for how to do the attack roll. Oh, shoot. I put aloe vera down. Dang it. All right. Next row. Next row will be mushrooms. Oh, made me so mad. And I was like, man, I don't know why you're jumping down my throat over this because wonder why you're jumping down my throat. I'm like, I was talking first. I'm the DM. I was looking for the rules on how to attack with a grenade. And then you're like, this website says. But yeah, so we didn't finish that fight. Um, Basically, we couldn't roll high enough to disable the cameras, and so they knew we were coming, and so after that, I think we made it in 3 rounds of combat, and then after the third round of combat. I'm like, okay, so it's like 11 now, and we said we were quitting earlier, so this isn't actually earlier than we normally quit. Um, did we quit at 11? Yeah, I think we did. Uh, and then I had them roll up their numbers for uh, the order, not the order, but the dice rolls for their characters in, yeah, look at that, 50 food, 20 water. Let's go ahead and just use both my meats or my stews right now. Yeah, and that will push me up over the limit for my food. Looks like I need to go get some water. It looks like I need some bottles. Man, I feel like I'm not doing very good with the scrap this time around. I don't know. But yeah, so the three people who have their characters ready for the other D&D, the not enough people D&D, we got all of our characters numbered up so we can roll a 6-sided die to figure out which character we're going to use at any given shift in character. The other guy still hasn't made his characters, but I did get to talk to him last night about what he's got to make and stuff like that. Um, so, all right, with that, I am going to call it a day. So be better in the small things, lean to the light, and I will talk to you later.